If any of you know me since 2015, then you should all know that I'm a big fan of the Tamagotchi anime, and I'm even a big fan of the English dub. I first discovered the show back in 2014, and I became a big fan of the show in 2015, to the point where it would become one of, if not, my favoriteest cartoon ever created. It will be up there with the Pixar Cars movies and Mixels, which are also one of some of my favorite cartoons of all time. So for today's video, I'm going to be capturing 5 of what I possibly think are the best ever episodes of Tamagotchi that I ever watched. I had a pretty good time with these episodes, so I thought I would have to count them down into this one list to talk about how great they are, how much I admire them, and get all the reasons why they're the best episodes. So without further ado, here's my top 5 best Tamagotchi episodes. Review.
The legendary Tama Blossoms are just on the other side. Alright, everyone ready?
Here she goes, and this is
Loveland's biggest hit song. It's called Every Lovely.
Starting off our list with number 5, we have The Power of Gossip. Now, what I really like about The Power of Gossip is that not only does it have a unique twist where Seiichi turned out to be Uesachi's mom, where we find out that the person that's been guiding Sadie to kids is actually a gossip person, but it did also have some unique scenes that had me on the edge of my seat. Like, about all the times where some other Tamagotchi characters are talking about some secrets that Seiichi and Uesachi end up getting and gossiping about. Also, I do think the plot of this episode is very well executed. Like, it's about Seiichi revealing the gossip about Memochi's hair being fake, and Memochi goes crazy about it, and she ends up getting revenge on Seiichi by telling the whole town about her hair being green con candy. Also, Uesachi had some of her best scenes in this episode, like the pretty funny part at the end of the episode where Uesachi ended up getting her mom's own gossip, basically betraying her. Basically getting her mom's own gossip, knowing that it's her mom that she's doing this to. However, the reason why it's number 5 is that, well, I don't really find anything bad about this episode, but it's just that there are 4 episodes of this series that I do like more that are going to be coming up later on this countdown. But The Power of Gossip does have some very funny moments and some unique scenes with some of the characters that we're seeing in this episode so far.
Alright, everyone ready?
Here she goes, and this is
Loveland's biggest hit song. It's called Every Lovely.
At number 4 on our list, we have Say Cheese, A Great Photo Shoot. Now, what I really like about this episode of Tamagotchi is that it involves some of my 3 favorite characters, Memochi, Makiko, and Flower Chi, basically taking photos in the photo booth that ended up belonging to their good friend, Lovely Chi. Now, my favorite part of this episode is the scene where they were taking pictures in the photo booth and basically having a good time trying out different costumes and wigs. And that was a part of Tamagotchi that I do consider to be some of the most memorable moments in my opinion. But I also liked the part after they were done taking the pictures, they were having an issue trying to figure out how to make them better due to Flower Chi pointing out the mistakes they made in all the pictures. Also, that fun battle scene at the end with Flower Chi being dressed as Miss Tacky, Makiko being dressed up as Gotchi Man, and Memochi being dressed up as Lovely Chi, or in her stage name Loveland. I thought that scene was absolutely hilarious because of how they were betraying themselves while doing their battle, while cosplaying as who they were supposed to be, and pretty much, well, making a mistake at the end where Makiko accidentally kicks Lovely Chi's dad, who I forgot what his name was, and accidentally kicks him into the boxes, and the funniest part is when they all bow to him because Lovely Chi's dad was wearing a samurai hat on his head. So yeah, this is a good episode, but not as good as the top 3 that are going to be coming up now.
Alright, everyone ready?
Here she goes, and this is
Loveland's biggest hit song. It's called Every Lovely.
Number 3 is Gypsy T's fortune telling. Now, pretty much all the parts in this episode were pretty enjoyable to watch. Like, I liked the first part where Memochi and Makiko were discussing about their fortunes and what they wanted to ask for Gypsy Tea. Then Uesachi comes out and tells them where to find Gypsy Tea, and they go on a quest to find Gypsy Tea to get their fortunes told. I found the part where Gypsy T was telling her fortunes to be very interesting, and it was also funny because she said that they were come true, or maybe not, and I thought that was pretty funny. And I also liked when Mamechi, instead of asking for a really good wish, he instead asked for a Gotcha Man episode for the Gotcha Man succeeds in this episode. And I also liked that scene where Kujipachi wished to have his favorite dinner too. And I like the ending too. Like, even though the Tamagotchi characters in this episode didn't get what they wanted completely, they kind of still got what they wanted, but in a different way. And they pretty much just accepted it and thought they were good wishes. And I thought that was a pretty good thing because, well, they can't be ungrateful, if you know what I mean. So yeah, this is a great episode, and I highly recommend you give it a watch if you're a fan of Tamagotchi.
Alright! Everyone ready?
Here she goes, and this is...
Loveland's biggest hit song! It's called Every Lovely!
At number 2, which is the episode that's close to being the best, but it's not as good as the best, which you're gonna see later on, it's a love panic situation. I really love this episode because it had Flower Chi at her best ever moment. This is so far my favorite Flower Chi episode where Flower Chi takes the main role, and my favorite Flower Chi moment of the whole entire show. So what happens in this episode is that Lovely Chi and Memechi give Flower Chi a blue flower, and it turns out that Flower Chi actually knows what it means to have a blue flower, and it means that you can encounter your crush. Because of this, Flower Chi ends up falling in love with Gachiruchi, and Flower Chi ultimately considers Gachiruchi to be the love of her life. So what happens in the rest of the episode is that Memechi, Makiko, and Lovely Chi, since they're so supportive towards Flower Chi, they ended up finding out some different flowers that ends up changing her emotion for some reason. Doing this to help Flower Chi hopefully confess how much she loves Gachiruchi, and hopefully they can be together. And I also liked the end where even though Flower Chi does mix up her emotion once again and pretends to be a martial artist with a stick as she moves it around Gachiruchi a lot in the final moments of the episode, but they eventually have fun doing that, and they pretty much, well, I guess, fall in love after the episode ends. I guess I'm not sure if that actually happens, but, you know, it's what I think. This is a pretty good example of an asking your crush out episode, and I think it's a pretty good one done right, and it's also why this is number 2, and it's also Flower Chi's best ever moment in the whole entire series, and yeah, this is, I do consider this to be a great episode, but it's not as great as the number 1 spot, which is going to be coming up right now.
Come on! Let's go sing with her! Now debuting the lovely Samurai Afro team! Yes! It's more fun singing with your friends! And I'm gonna help sing too, G! Me too!
Then I shall as well.
I want to sing too! I'll sing too!
If there is one Tamagotchi episode that I love more than the others, and I do consider it to be the best one of all time, and the one that I had the most fun with, and also, believe it or not, it's actually the episode that's on this countdown. Yes, my number 1 spot for a Tamagotchi episode that I consider to be the best of all time is Cherry Blossoms. Now, I'm going to give you guys the complete summary on a specific spot of why Cherry Blossoms is my bestest Tamagotchi episode of all time, and why it's my absolute favorite. The beginning was pretty good. It was about the Tamagotchi characters going to the Tamacherry bread with the cherry tree. And immediately the episode's good when the other girls are dressing up Tamamechi in different clothes. I thought that was a pretty adorable scene. But then the epicness gets larger as Flower Team comes up with the perfect idea to have some fun in order to get the cherry blossoms to bloom. And yeah, that's basically the whole episode, and that's why I like it so much, and why it's the best episode in my opinion. It revolves around the Tamagotchi characters having the best fun they can, doing some great things, and doing all that, it really makes me happy too. Like, the stuff they're doing that makes them happy and makes the tree happy, also makes me happy as well. Also, one of my favorite scenes in this episode is that scene where Kujipachi was doing a face belly trick, where he drew a face on his belly and was making it their emotion with it, and I thought that scene was also pretty cool and also funny at the same time. But another scene in this episode that I thought was really enjoyable, and another scene of Tamagotchi that I thought was really good and one of my best moments of all time, is when Memechi and Makiko were doing their own stage show, where Memechi was dressed as a samurai and Makiko had an afro on her head. That scene was really funny, and it was also pretty enjoyable as well. And let's not forget that awesome scene where Loichi and her friends all came together to sing to the tree, making all the trees bloom, and it was almost perfect. Even if Momechi did accidentally mess it up by saying horribly and causing all the blooms on the tree to fall apart, that doesn't really change the fact that this was still the perfect Tamagotchi episode. Everything about this episode was so amazing, and it also had some pretty visuals, especially on the tree, and all this is why Cherry Blossoms is, if not, the best Tamagotchi episode I have ever seen, ever. And there you have it, my top 5 best Tamagotchi episodes and a review time list. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and what's your favorite Tamagotchi episode? Leave it in the comments below. But anyways, guys, that's it for the video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out, everyone.